Hello everyone, welcome to MVP Vishwakosha. Today we are discussing 31st July 2025 current affairs. In that first point, that is about recent news, that is 25% tariff imposed by the US on Indian imports. Okay, that is US President Donald Trump announced a 25% reciprocal tariff on all goods from India that is effective from August 1st, 2025, along with penalties tied to India's purchase of oil and defense equipment from Russia. And also some media reported this is a major escalation that could affect critical Indian sectors like textiles, electronics, gems and jewelry and also seafood, while also impacting US consumers with rising import cost. And also the decision is seen in the backdrop of stalled US-India trade negotiations and also promoting that is India to consider WTO action and retaliation measures. Okay, that is right, previously that in February March also, that is 2025, that steel aluminum auto duties also 25 tariffs were initially imposed, and later in April also, that is on Liberation Day reciprocal tariff order. Here coming to this, some legal challenges will be there, that next that US court questioned that legal authority, right? So in this very important that recent strategically this Trump's tariff and also some WTO and legal recourse and also foreign policy and geopolitics perspective are important, and also economic and trade negotiations, that is bilateral trade agreement talks have stalled. That is US hints India may need to reduce its own tariffs for consents even as trade reaches $87 billion from India to US in 2024. India may need to diversify export market, example European Union, Japan, to promote domestic value chains and fast track reforms for competitiveness. And also for exam perspective, it is very important that trade policy tools used for reciprocal tariffs and safeguard measures and IEEPA authority, and also impact on federal and sectoral economics, and also about steel, aluminium, auto, agriculture, seafood and export driven MSMEs, and also globalization, multilateral versus bilateral trade regimes and India's diplomatic balancing. Okay, very important. That is the 25% tariff is part of a broader reciprocal tariff regime first announced in April 2025 and legally contested now operational. Okay, very important. That is about the recent India-US trade, that is Trump slams, that is 25% tariff penalty on Indian exports. Okay. Next, coming to recent news, that is NASA ISRO satellite launch, that is NASA ISRO, it is NISAR satellite launch, that is told recently, right? So ISRO successfully launched the NISAR satellite about its GSLV F-16 Mark II rocket from Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota. Okay, that is orbit, that is NISAR entered a sun-synchronous polar orbit at an altitude of 743 km with a 98.4-degree inclination, enabling global observation and precise revised cycles. And also precision launch, that ISRO Chief Dr. V. Narayanan confirmed the mission was one of the most precise globally, with the satellite placed with a narrow margin of 2 to 3 km of its intended orbit. Okay, some of the technical features and payload, that is cost and collaboration. The mission cost is estimated between US dollar 1.3 to 1.5 billion, with NASA contributing dollar 1.2 billion and ISRO is dollar 91 million, marking it as the most expensive joint Earth observation satellite to date. And also the payload, it carries a dual frequency SAR system, NASA's L-band 25 centimeter wavelength and ISRO's S-band 10 centimeter wavelength, mounted on a 12-meter unfurlable antenna reflector, a first for any Earth observing satellite. And also satellite specification, that is mass, that is 2,392 kg including propellant, and also dimension 5.5 meter spacecraft body and also 12-meter reflector, and also solar arrays providing 5 kilowatt of power and thrusters for 15 onboard for orbit maintenance. Okay, main mission objective and application is high resolution monitoring that is capable of detecting earth surface changes down to 1 centimeter even through clouds, rain, vegetation using microwave radar technology, and also coverage will cover complete 14 orbit per day, scanning nearly the entire land and ice surface every 12 days, and also average that is every 6 day when considering revisit, and also at setting ascending and descending passes. Okay, some key users causes that is will natural hazardous monitoring, earthquake, volcanoes, landslides, infrastructure stability, that is about dams, bridges, roads, environmental change tracking, and disaster management support, and open data access is important. Exam perspective, that is about India-US strategic partnership, tech diplomacy, and soft power. Future that is very important. Future missions and all. Okay, satellite technology and all. That is about the NASA-ISRO-NISAR satellite launch. Okay, that is GSLV F-16. Next point, that is about South Korea US trade deal. Okay, that recent deal, that is US will impose that a 15% tariff on South Korean imports, reduced from the threatened 25%, on par with Japan and European Union agreement. In return, South Korea committed to investing $350 billion in US owned projects, and also $150 billion in shipbuilding, make America shipbuilding great again, and also $200 billion in sectors including semiconductors, biotech, nuclear energy, and batteries, and also purchasing $1 billion worth of US energy producers, that is example LNG, over the next 3.5 years. And also US tariffs on steel, aluminum, and copper remain unchanged, and South Korean semiconductor and pharmaceutical export receive most favored nation status, no harsher treatment than other partner. And also South Korea agreed to open market for US autos and agriculture, but rice and beef sector remains protected due to domestic sensitiveness. Okay, and also this sectoral impact and strategic consideration, and automotive and manufacturing. Auto export account for nearly 40% of South Korea's US trade, and making the tariff reduction from 25% to 15%, and also critical to industry stability. The auto sector was a key focus and negotiation, and also in shipbuilding sector, the US that is the $150 billion pact aims to revitalize American shipbuilding with South Korean expertise. Okay, and also high tech and energy sectors. Also, South Korea committed to $200 billion investment in US high tech sectors. Also, the deal ensure no extra tariff on Korean semiconductor, and also in agriculture and service sector. Also, US agriculture goods like rice and beef remain excluded from tariff removal. And foreign exchange and security currency issues are being discussed separately via finance minister channels. Okay. Strategically, it is very important. That is a recent deal. Okay, that is a South Korea US deal, trade deal. Next news, that is about India Syria. That is a recent development. That is first official outreach to Syria's transitional that is government. That is India dispatched a delegation led by Suresh Kumar, Joint Secretary, West Asia and North Africa, to Damascus, marking New Delhi's first formal engagement with the transitional government headed by Ahmad al-Shara, and a former HTS leader supported by Turkey. Meetings were held with, and also foreign ministers and health ministers. All discussion covered mutual concerns and avenues to enhance health, pharmaceutical cooperation, scholarship programs, and technical training for Syrian professionals. Okay, and in political and regional context, that is Assad regime fall and Syria's transition. Okay, in December, rebel force including all that HTS seized Damascus and all, right. India issued a statement urging preservation of Syria's sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity, and advocated a peaceful, inclusiveness, Syrian-led political process. Its embassy remained operational, monitoring the safety of around 90 Indian nationals. And also, Syria's political milestone is early that 2025, all that. Okay, that is 29th January 2025, that Ahmad al-Shara became the interim president also, and also some bilateral theme and strategic implication, that is historical ties, that India Syria have a maintained diplomatic continuity even during the civil war. India opposed sanctions on Syria and urged lifting humanitarian embargoes, and also Syria traditionally supported India on the Kashmir issue, and also India extended development cooperation including $240 million line of credit, IT infrastructure aid and scholarship program. In security concern and regional dynamics also, the outstanding of Assad and rise of HTS with the ties of Turkey and Islamist militancy raises concern over potential ISIS resurgence, extremism spread, and the security of Indian investment and citizens in Syria. India is boosting intelligence, vigilance, and evacuation preparedness, and also development and cooperation perspective. Both the sides are purchasing collaboration in healthcare, pharmaceutical training program, and capacity building for Syrian professionals. India also supports scholarship and broader developmental ties. Okay. Very important that recent development, okay, for exam perspective, that is about recent India's diplomatic engagement with Syria, first formal meeting. Next is about that is a recent development in India UK defense partnership. Okay, that is in amid PM Modi's UK visit. That is in July 2022, right? But later updated that both nations agreed to elevate defense industrial cooperation. That right? Discussion emphasis on joint manufacturing and that is missile development and technology transfer, including fighter jet engine collaboration under the comprehensive strategic partnership and the India UK free trade agreement framework. Okay, and also that Aero India, in that also UK launched defense partnership with India, and all that very important. And also this tech and industrial cooperation vision 2035 roadmap, newly signed 10-year India UK the industrial roadmap focuses on co-development of complex weapons, jet engines, warship propulsion, and strategic technologies under the broader vision 2035 defense agenda. And broader strategic framework, electronic propulsion partnership. Since late 2024, both sides have engaged in a joint working group, okay, on electric propulsion, anticipating its use in future Indian aircraft carriers and LPDs. Future combat air engine co-development, leveraging UK's Rolls-Royce MT-30 turbine knowledge to develop jet engine capabilities in India aligned with LCA Mark II program, and also maritime interoperability, UK Carrier Strike Group operations of India, including joint PESEX exercise with the Indian Navy in the Arabian Sea, signal operational interoperability and presence. Okay, strategically very important, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat and defense self-reliance, diversification, strategic partnerships, tech diplomacy and economic gains, and maritime and aerospace security collaboration. Okay, that is about recent news, that is India Britain, okay, in defense technology. Next point, that is recent discovery of a Harappan site at ratadiyaridherirajastan, okay, in Rajasthan. Okay, that is archaeologists unearthed the first confirmed Harappan settlement in Rajasthan's Thar desert, that is ratadiyaridherirajastan Jaisalmer district, marking a significant geographic expansion of the Indus Valley civilization into arid western India. This discovery fills a critical gap that connecting earlier known sites in northern Rajasthan and Gujarat, revising the civilization known territorial spread. Archaeological evidence and all, the site dated to the mature Harappan phase, 2600 to 1900 BC, confirming its contemporaneity with the major urban center like Mohenjo-daro, Kalibangan, and Rakhigarh. Key findings that redware pottery, perforated jars, terracotta cakes, and clay and shell bangles, and also chaired blades that 8 to 10 centimeter like sourced from Rohari, Pakistan, and also wedge-shaped bricks and circular kiln with central columns similar to structures of Kanmer, Gujarat, and Mohenjo-daro, and remnants of ancient walls suggesting planned construction. So very important that geographical expansion and also rural urban connectivity, trade and resource networks in that area, and also technological and architectural insights, and also adaptation of harsh environment that civilization ability to establish urbanized system in challenging desert ecosystem, showcasing resilience and environmental adaptation. Okay, very important for exam perspective also, about that in history perspective, very important. That is about recent discovery. Okay, next point, that is about recent news, that is latest development in India's digital payment index, that is by RBI. Okay, you know, right, already discussed about that payment index and okay, very important composite, that is semi-annual index released by the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so in this index, RBI DP rose to 493.22 in March 2025, up to from 465.33 in September 2024, a 10.7% year-on-year increase, and also relative on the base 100 in March 2018, the index has surged nearly fivefold, reflecting exponential growth since inception. And also this reflects deeper adoption of digital channels across urban and rural India, particularly in Tier 2 plus regions, driving inclusion. Drivers behind this surge because payment performance and infrastructure, strong growth in UPI, NEFT, IMPS and card PP transactions, particularly UPI volumes growing 42% in financial year 25 by volume and 30% by value. And also UPI dominates 84% of total retail transaction value. NEFT and MPS and RTGS also witness robust growth in both volume and value metrics. Because in that infrastructure boost also, point of sale terminals rose 24.7% to 1.1 crore. UPI QR code deployment surged 91.5% to 65.8 crore across India, fueling acceptance in remote and semi-urban areas. And also policy and institutional ecosystem, continual rollout of Payment Vision 2025 initiative through RBI and NPCI, expanding infrastructure, inclusive access and international interoperability. And also DP plays a strategic role in policy decision, regulatory reforms and benchmarking digital economy progress. Okay, very important that sustainability of UPI, that RBI governor highlighted concern about funding models of UPI infrastructure, called for a sustainable framework to support its rapid growth and operational stability. And also for informal sector unease, small vendors are showing reluctance towards digital payment due to increased GST scrutiny. That issue also very important. From digital trail, okay, promoting some reserve shift back to cash, raising equity also. That issue you should know. Okay, that is about recent report. Okay, that is digital payment index, RBI and all. Next news, that is Canada's decision to formally recognize the state of Palestine. Prime Minister Mark Carney announced Canada's intention to recognize the state of Palestine during the 80th Event General in September 2025, joining the UK and France in this policy shift. Condition and rational recognizing is conditional on the Palestine Authority governance reforms, including holding general election in 2026 that explicitly exclude Hamas, and also commitment to demilitarize the future Palestine state. And also Carney cited the worsening humanitarian crisis in Gaza, accelerated Israel settlement expansion and erosion of two-state solution as justification for the move. Strategically and diplomatically very important, alignment with Western shift. And also that is Canada joins France and UK as a major Western country prepared to recognize Palestine, reflecting as a growing diplomatic divergence from the US stance. And also pushback from Israel and US. Israel strongly condemned the decision, calling the reward for Hamas and harmful to peace efforts. And also US President Donald Trump warned that this policy shifted could complicate Canada-US trade relation and threaten new tariffs on Canadian goods, raising trade frictions. Okay, legal and global context also, the state of Palestine declared in 1988 is currently recognized by 147 UN member states and enjoys non-member observer state status at UN since 2012. Recognized by Canada as symbolic in the legal sense, but adds political and diplomatic pressure, especially among Western democracies. Okay, very important. That is Canada as recent recognized the Palestine state. Okay. Next news, that is about last that is not recent news, so that is Canada fire incident. Okay, that is what is that Canada has experienced over almost large hectares burned across more than 3,000 active fires, making this season a second worst on that record, just behind the catastrophic 2023 fires. Okay, that is 561 wildfires remain active, with 69 classified as a out of control provinces like that is Saskatchewan and Manitoba are under state of emergency and rated national preparedness level 5, the highest. Okay, lost of that is large hectares of land and all affected. Humanitarian and environmental impact also. Okay, that evacuation over 5,000 4,000 resident evacuated in towns and all. Okay, air quality crisis. Smoke has drifted into the US, affecting cities like Minneapolis and Newark, triggering extreme pollution alert and public health advisory region. Very important that climate change, all that. Okay, and also some response and policy measures. Okay, environmental governance concern, very important, that preparedness level, evacuation protocols, interagency coordination across province and countries, integration of indigenous fire stewardship practices and all. Okay, and also economic and social cost, very important. That is about recent wildfire in Canada. Next, about last news, that is about Venezuela flight incident. Okay, that is Venezuelan military aircraft. Okay, that is crashed in the Amazon region, killing 7 out of 10 people abroad, and including the co-pilots. Survivors include the pilot and medical crew. The aircraft was transporting members of Anomaly indigenous community. Okay, and medical personnel to remote areas. Preliminary report point to a technical malfunction as the cause. Local authority have reached the crash site and launched the investigation. Okay, very important that Venezuela recent flight, and also you should know about aviation safety and infrastructure. And the military crash highlights the issue of remote logistical air support and that need to improve aircraft maintenance, especially in challenging terrains like Amazon. And also hydraulic failure incident reflect concern over aging aircraft reliability, particularly in state-run airlines. And also security and passenger conduct, very important. And also indigenous policy and humanitarian outreach and policy and governance dimension, very important. That is about last news. So that is recent Venezuela flight incident. Okay. That is about 31st July 2025 current affairs. Thank you. Support me for further videos so that I can analyze all the topics required for UPSC and all current affairs required for all competitive exams. Thank you.